Hello and welcome to Qi Gong at home. So I'm going through to you today some Qi Gong moves that I would normally teach at the sports village. Don't worry if you haven't done Qi Gong before. It's nice, simple, rhythmic, slow movements. If you want to pick your own music to go with it, feel free to do so. I'm not using music today. I'm just going to go through all the movements with you. So make sure you've got comfortable clothing, just something that you can move freely in, yeah? You notice I'm in socks, yeah? I have a wooden floor here, so it's easy for me to glide and do all the moves quite freely. But if you want to, try bare feet, or maybe just keep your shoes on, that's fine too. Remember, you could do this in sections too, so you could do the warm-up, have a little rest, and then move on and progress to the other moves. So I'll name all the moves today. I will be filming more of these Qi Gong sessions, and as we progress, I'll probably start using music and speaking less and just letting you be nice and calm and enjoy the movements. So let's begin with the warm-up. All we do for the warm-up is rub our hands together. So the reasoning behind the rubbing the hands together is just to start winding down and to also prepare the body. So just rubbing our hands together, that's it. And then take the shoulders back and down, arms and hands nicely, loosely by your side. You'll see my feet, my stance is about shoulder width apart, and I take the shoulders back and down. Gently take your head side to side. It's nice and gentle, taking the head side to side. How many times should we do this? There's no definite times, the amount we should do. Maybe I would go for 8. Okay, come back to the center now. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. That's it. And slowly and gently back. Do that again. You might hear a few creaks. Nice and gentle, down and up. And obviously you could do this seated too. If it's too much for you to be standing, and you can do this on a chair quite easily. And one more. Fantastic. You're going to take one hand across the shoulder. You're going to do a nice deep breath in for it. Breathe out. Push away. Now, traditionally, I don't teach this one in Qi Gong, but it's a nice one to add in, especially if you're sitting a lot at home in the moment. Nice deep breath in. Breathe out. Look away from the hand. Fantastic. Into the shoulders. Up towards the ears. Slide them back and down. I'll explain a little bit as we go about the breathing, but don't give yourself too many things to think about. But if you wanted to, breathe in and up, out and down, in and up, out and down, in and up, out and down. Then we do the same on the opposite way, just like you're putting your coat on. Breathe in and up, out and down, in and up, out and down, in and up, out and down. One more time, fantastic. Now I always take the shoulders back to reset them back into position. Yeah, so now we're going to take our arms and hands in front of our body. I'm going to try and keep my hips facing the same way. So the top half of my body, take it around to the side and back in. Same on the other side. Around to the side, back in. One more time each side. And back side. So that starts mobilizing the waist, getting some movement into the waist. Side bends carefully to start with. We go down and take the other arm up into the armpit. And then the other side. So you can start off gradually and maybe each time trying to get a little bit further down. Let's do one more time each side. Fantastic. That's it. Okay, one more for our upper body. This is called spinning plates in Qi Gong. So I take the palm of my hand and I want you to imagine there's a plate on your hand. So now I want you to circle the plate round over your head, keeping it upright and back. We're going to try that on the other side. So the palm faces up. We take that plate round overhead, keeping that plate upright and back. Don't worry if you've smashed your plates already. We're just practicing. I would have a little bend of the knees, soft knees I call it. Round we go. And then same on the other side. Round we go. fantastic. This one's called spinning plates. Fantastic one to mobilize the shoulders and get the upper body ready for the work we're going to do. Fantastic. Now we're going to move into the hips. So the hips are notorious for holding lots of tension. So we're going to release some of that tension in the hips. So soft knees, and we'll circle off those hips. Nice big round circles. Get as much movement as you can into the hips. And then the other way around. That's it. A couple more times. Fantastic. Now I want you to take your feet a little bit wider than you would normally stand, with the toes turned slightly out. Yep. So we're going to imagine there's a chair behind us tempting us down. So if you have been on your chair up until now, maybe you could stand up from the chair and use the chair as a guide. So I'm going to take my hands forward, I keep my body nice and up, I sit down on my chair. Now as I rise up, I'm going to manage to come up on my toes. Yep. If you're not comfortable with that, just keep the heels down. Let's do that again. Arms go forward, sit down. Keep that upper body upright. Try not to look at the floor. You'll see the difference if I look at the floor. Yeah, it can feel as if I'm going lower, but I'm not in fact going any lower. In fact, I'm not going this low. So I would keep the body upright and concentrate all the work where it should be, in the legs. That's it. Okay, let's do one more. And then as you come up onto toes. Fantastic. Shake the legs out. We just got one more part of the warm-up to do. So you're up on the heel, and this knee has a bend in it. Shoulders are back. Now I want you to reach down, but I still want you to keep head to tail nice and flat. So you can see my back is flat. It's not arched, yeah? If it means I don't get as far, that's okay. It's not the back I'm stretching off. It's the back of the legs. I bring that up. That foot goes forward. The other one comes out to the side. Shoulders come back, slight bend in that knee. Then I reach down. If I only get down as far as the knee, that's fine. Yeah, it's not about how far you can go down. Let's use the breath this time. Nice deep breath out. Breathe out. Down you go. And back up. Let's do one more. Shoulders back and down. Breath in. Breath out. Reach down, back up. So that's our warm-up for today done. So that's the Qi Gong warm-up. Now you may want to go off and do something else and not follow the rest of the Qi Gong workout. But because that on its own will be a nice maybe beginning of your day type of routine to get you going. So if you've had enough and feel that you want to go off and do something else, off you go, and the rest of us will get on with our Qi Gong. I've got 12 different pieces of a Qi Gong class to do with you. So get yourself some water, maybe get your room a little bit more ventilated now that you're warmed up, and get ready for the main event. Let's continue our Qi Gong. The next part of the sequence comes in two parts. We blend one into the other. Okay, so feet are hip width apart. Shoulders are back and down. Hands in line with the chest, yeah? We're going to sit back and down just like we did in the warm-up. We're going to spread our wings at the same time, yeah? So we dip down, spread the wings, and gather back in. And this one's called Flying Wild Geese. Just sit down as far as comfortable to you. If you'd like to use the breath, I will breathe in as I come up, and out as I go down. I love this movement. Great movement for the lower, upper body and core all at the same time. Flying wild geese. Keep the feet firmly on the floor. Try not to look to the floor. Try to look straight ahead. Big circles opening up each time. As I say, we're going to blend the second move, the second part of this movement together. Let's do two more here. This is the last one. Instead of coming up, I want you to step to the side, shift the weight forward and back. So I'm up on the heel and I plant the foot down, come back up. And this one's called Flying Dove. Spreads its wings. Shift that weight forward and back from you. The breath would be breath in as you come up. Breath out and down. Breath in and up. Breath out and down. Feel that weight shift back onto this leg and shift forward onto the front leg. Again, nice big circles with the arm opening up that chest. Flying dove spreads its wings. Let's do one more to this side. Slowly and gently, we transfer all that to the other side, spreading our wings, gathering back in. If it goes flat, we shift it forward, up on the heel as we shift the weight back. Again, the breath. Breath in and up, breath out and down. In and up, out and down. In and up, out and down. I'm going to do a couple more to finish this side off. And come back to the center to rest. So that was 2 moves blended. Flying wild geese into flying dove spreads its wings. Okay, moving on from there, we're going into spire the dragon. One of my favorite moves, ideally with the hands and feet together, but for some of you this might be not suitable because you feel a little bit too unsteady. Just take the feet a small way apart. Yeah, let's see, if you can, feet together, hands together. Okay, slight bend in knee. We're going to make a figure of 8 on its side, either side of your shoulders. Or spire the dragon. Now I'm pushing my hands together. As I push my hands together, I'm creating some tension, building up through strength, building up strength through the upper body. I actually feel this in my core muscles too, stomach muscles too. And then of course I'm twisting side to side, and I'm trying to make my movements bigger so I feel the waist working too, yeah. Now I want to bend the knees a little bit more. We'll go either side of waist now. So we're going to work our way down. So we're either side of waist. So no particular breathing pattern for this one. Just remember to breathe. So we're going to go a little bit further now, sitting in the air a little bit further. We'll go either side of the hips, yeah. Again, try and look straight ahead. Try not look to the floor. Yeah. And then I'm going to go even further. I'm going to go either side of knees. I'm going to go on the side now so you can see the shape I'm making. So I'm really, really overloading the leg muscles now. Yeah, they're having to work pretty hard. Yeah. As they stand in this almost seated position. Come to the front again for you. Now there's one more position. This might be far enough, but some of you might want to come all the way down. Yeah, so sitting in mid-air, which is really challenging my leg muscles. Yeah. Okay, let's make our way back up to knees. Oh, I'm feeling that. Certainly gets the leg muscles working, gets them really warm. Okay, up to hips. And certainly gets you out of breath too. Up to waist. Okay, slow it down if you feel you may be getting a little bit dizzy here. Either side of shoulders, like we did at the beginning. And finally, I'm going to add one more, either side of head. Making that figure of 8 on its side, and it's either side of head. Resting hands in front of forehead. Nice deep breath in, breathe up. And down. Fantastic. So there was Spire the Dragon. We're going to repeat that sequence, but we're going to repeat it from the bottom up. So remember, I went all the way down to the floor. Maybe you did too, or maybe you'd like to start at the knees or the hips. Because remember, maybe you get down, but you've always got to remember you've got to get yourself back up again. Now I'm putting my feet together again. Maybe you need to have them a small way apart. Everybody's got hands to heart center. And we're going to use the breath to our advantage here. We're going to breathe in, but as we breathe out, that should help us go a little bit further than we expected to. Nice deep breath in, breath out. If you can, come with me all the way down to the bottom. That's it. And then come up to knees. Fantastic. Up to hips. Up to waist. Really feeling it in the waist now. Either side of shoulders. Finally, either side of head. Resting hands in front of forehead. Breathe in, take up. Breathe out, take down. There we have Spire the Dragon. Yep. Take the weight off your feet if you need to, and we'll move on. So the next one, although we're standing, it's probably the most relaxed you'll be able to get yourself in a standing position. Yep. It takes some practice to feel comfortable with this one, I think. But once you've practiced this a few times, it's a great one for relaxation and just letting all the muscles just chill out. So we've done the first 6 moves of our Qi Gong, so we're about to do the second half. Yep. Hopefully you're nice and refreshed and ready to go again. So for our next one, I want you to stand with the feet a little bit wider than you normally stand. And we did a version of this in the warm-up. Yeah, we imagined we had a seat behind us and we sat down. This time, I want your hands in line with the chest because we're going to double up 2 moves here. We're going to do that move again for lower half of the body, but we're going to spread our wings at the same time. So as you sit down, spread your wings. As you stand up, gather back in. Sit, spread the wings, and gather back in. That's it. So we have a nice posture. Yeah. So we're not looking towards the floor, we're looking straight in front. If you wanted to add breath, breathe in and up. Out and down. Nice big movement here, utilizing upper body, lower body, and the core muscles. Lovely. And this one's called Flying Wild Geese, and it comes in 2 parts. So we're going to blend the next move into this one once we're finished this one. So my feet are flat on the floor. I'm looking straight ahead. Yeah, again, don't worry too much about the breathing. Just concentrate on the move. Fantastic. So chest tight all the time. Nice big circles. That's it. Open up nice and wide. If you're feeling confident, you might want to go a little bit lower, but we're trying to keep the feet firmly on the ground. Now we're just ready to blend in our second move. Let's do 2 more. Okay, this is our last one. So instead of coming all the way up, I want you to step to the side, spread your wings, come up on the heel, and repeat. So we're now into Flying Dove, spreads its wings. So I'm shifting the body weight forward, slightly down, up and slightly back. You could add in breath, breathe in and up, out and down. With this one, I feel it quite natural to use the breath, yeah? I feel it's a bit more natural than the other ones because we're coming up and down, yeah? So again, breathe in and up, breath out and down. Flying Dove, spreads its wings. Lovely, let's do 2 more to this side. Making the next one the last one. And very gently and slowly, I transfer all that to the other side. I step out to the side, spread my wings, gather back in. Feet plant down, up on heels. Again, if you want to, you could use a breath. Breath in and up, breath out and down. In and up, out and down. In and up, out and down. And remember again, just take a rest whenever you feel you need to. We'll do 2 more of these. Making the next one the last one. Fantastic. So that was Flying Dove, spreads its wings. Yep. So that was 2 parts of Qi Gong, blending one into the other. The next one, the next two actually are personal favourites of mine. I really like the next two. For the next one, we're going to challenge your balance. To challenge your balance, we take the feet together. Now, for some of you, this may be too much. Then you take your feet a little way apart. And each week or each time you practice your Qi Gong, I want you to try and take your feet closer together. So if you can, feet together, slight bend in knee, hands at heart center. Yeah, and the hands are in prayer-like position. Now I'm going to make a figure of 8 on its side. Somebody once corrected me, it's actually the infinity sign. It's a figure of 8 on its side, or the infinity sign. There's a slight bend in my knee. Yeah, and this is the easiest version. We're starting with the easiest version. No breathing pattern for this one, just nice gentle breath throughout. And you can twist and turn bigger each time to get the most out of the movement. Now I'm pushing the palms of my hands through each other, and that's activating muscles in my upper body, chest muscles, shoulder muscles. You could do the same too. Okay, I want you to bend the knees a bit more. Second stage, either side of waist. Now I'm twisting and turning a little bit more. Yeah, so I'm getting as much as I can out of this movement for my waist. A really good shape, waist shaper, this one. I'm bending my knees a little bit more. I'm going either side of hips. So now I'm using my leg muscles, yeah? Great one for using the leg muscles, challenging my balance, working my waist, and as I push my hands together, activating some upper body muscles. Now it gets harder. I'm still looking straight ahead, but I'm sitting in the air. I'm going to show you from the side. Yeah, I'm sitting in the air. I'm really, really noticing the change in my leg muscles. They are under quite a bit of strain, so don't stay here too long. Come back up to hips if you need to, or if you can, stay with me. Now there's one more. Yeah, it's all the way down, so we sit down. Again, I'm going to show you from the side. I'm sitting all the way down. This is extremely challenging for the leg muscles. You'll see me going red. Okay, I'm going to make my way back up to my knees. Whoa, that was hard work. Haven't done that for a while. I need to practice more. Up to hips, so we're making our way, reversing all the way back. You'll notice my breathing. That was super hard for me. Up to waist. We're just working our way up in reverse. Either side of shoulders. If in doubt, stay with the shoulders. That's the easiest version I can offer you. And then you can start building all the way down to the bottom. Now there's one more version. I'm going to show you up at the top, either side of head. Yeah. As soon as our arms and hands are above our heart, the blood and oxygen haven't travelled up the way, which the body doesn't like, and it challenges us. Whew. One more time each side. Rest hands in front of forehead, straighten arms up, take them down by your sides. Separate the feet. Okay, so that was Spire the Dragon, and now I'm going to do a second version of Spire the Dragon. This is when we decide where we want to start. Moving on to a much more relaxing piece of the Qi Gong. We're going to do rolling the pearl of wisdom. So it's probably the most relaxed you're going to be in a standing position, hopefully. So you want to start on one side. Imagine you have a ball in your hand. We transport that ball around to the other side. I just want you to feel as weightless as possible. Remember I spoke about in the warm-up, the facial muscles being relaxed, the shoulders, the arms. No particular breathing pattern here. We're just transporting that ball from one side to the other. Slight bend in knee. We've got that nice rotation going around each side. Now if you're feeling really relaxed, you could try closing your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And try and imagine the energy coming from your ball. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, following your hands with your rolling the pearl of wisdom. One more to each side. Excuse me. So that should have felt nice and relaxed, and we can build on that one. And hopefully you'll feel the benefits of that once you've done that particular move. Moving on to pushing water now. We step out to the side, foot flat on the floor. push down to the floor, the knee bends. We raise up, or up on the heel of the front foot. Yep. So we're shifting the weight forward and back. So just like we did in the beginning, you might want to use some visualization. Imagine the warm waters through the fingertips as you lift up and push down. Breath in, take up. Breath out and down. Breathe in, take up. Breath out, take down. Let's do one more to the side. Breathe in and up. Out and down. Transfer all that to the other side. Same on the other side. Push down. Pull back. Push down. Pull back. Breathe in and up. Breathe out and down. Breathe in and up. Breathe out and down. One more to finish this off. Well done. Come back to the center. We've got one more piece for the sequence to make our 12 pieces of Qi Gong, and it's called lifting the ball. So maybe today you're just up on the toe, like I've done there, or if you're feeling confident, try and take the foot away from the floor, plant it down, and then pick up from the other side. You could use breath here. Breathe in and up. Breath out and down. Breathe in and up. Breath out and down. Just take your time. It can be a really frustrating one if your balance isn't good. The only way to make it better is practice. Spread the toes out on the foot that's on the floor. The more contact you have with the floor, the greater the surface, the more chance you have of balance. And let's do one more to each side. I'll leave you with this one for your homework. And you can practice. Well done. So that's our 12 pieces of Qi Gong. I hope you enjoyed that today. I did talk a lot through each of the movements. Next time I do, I'm going to have some music on and I'll be a little bit more quieter so we can really get in the feel of the Qi Gong. Hands and feet together if you can for me. Breathe in, take it up. Breath out, take down. One more to finish off. Breathe in, take up. Breath out, take down. And all we've got left to do is take our hands together and tilt and bow to finish. Well done. Until the next time, bye-bye. Thank you for joining me.